It is another week Halloween decor hunting with me and good old Mr. Skeleton. It is a glorious, gloomy, doomy, cloudy, thunderstormish kind of day. We already had the thunderstorms, I think. I think we're done with those. I don't know. I guess if we get a little thunderstorm ambiance, that will be amazing. But I don't think so. I think they're done. But we at least have the lingering clouds, and it's 77 degrees out. So I had to take the opportunity to get out on the hunt for a little bit today. Plus, I need to take some packages to UPS because I'm not going to lie, we way underestimated how much help we would need for this launch. So, lesson learned. But that being said, thank you so much if you put in an order and for supporting this launch. We are so excited that you are excited about this. And hopefully I already have the pre-order / restock video out. It should already be out. So I would say something about it like, oh, keep your eyes peeled for a video, but I think this is coming out after that. I need to take these shirts, and I figured while we're out taking these shirts, we might as well check some places. I really wanted to go to Michael's before it gets picked over to see the spooky goods and see their lines in all of their glory. Then we're going to cruise over to TJ Maxx HomeGoods Hybrid because it's right next door, so why not go? You know me. And then I kind of wanted to cruise over to Dollar Tree because when I was editing my last video, this happens to me all the freaking time. Let me just tell you. I'll be watching back clips and I'm like, did you even see that ghoul that was right in front of your face? You touched it and you didn't even get one. So they had these little trees, these little skull trees. I was watching the video back, or as I was editing, and I was like, ghoul. I'm like, that would be perfect for your graveyard. What was it? My graveyard amusement park that I'm doing in my spooky town. They'd be perfect. I don't know what I was thinking. Then I think that's it for today. But this week, I really want to go to Menards. And I want to go to, because my mother-in-law said that they were starting to put out Halloween when she went last week. Then I also want to check Lowe's. I know Home Depot is typically not until closer to Labor Day, so we'll hold off on Home Depot. Oh, and I want to talk about Sam's Club. We went to Sam's Club last week when I went to those two really good, the one was a TJ Maxx and one was when we went way out. Where is this? Oh, it's over here. When we went way out to get that spooky town, we went to that TJ Maxx, we went to that HomeGoods. Yeah. And then when I was out there, I went to Sam's and I totally forgot to talk about it. Why are you stopping in the middle of the road? Oh, because none of these people know how to drive. Anyways, we're running in really quick. I got to drop stuff off. And then we'll reconvene. We'll talk about Sam's Club because we ended up going to Sam's. Totally, I don't know if my camera overheated or if I just totally didn't mention it. I think I failed to mention it. Is what happened. We're going to talk about Sam's. We're going into UPS first. Let me tell you, I don't even know what my life is right now. There's so much I have to tell you that's been happening in life that's so funny. Okay, so first of all, a couple weeks ago, I meant to mention this last week and I just didn't even, I think I've been blocking it from my memory because this happened at the worst possible time that could ever happen. We went to Costco, which was a total disaster, I'm sure. Anyways, we're putting everything away after we got back from Costco and we hear this loud boom. And it sounded expensive, whatever it was. You know those noises in life that just sound expensive? This was one of those. So I'm sitting here like, oh God. I was like, Dallas, are you going to go check it out? And he goes upstairs and he comes back down several minutes later and he's like, well, you're going to have fun with that. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm going to have fun with that? I was like, was it my lighting? He was like, no. I was like, was it my camera? Like on my tripod, did it fall off? No. Okay. Break it to me already. Get this. I never would have guessed this. The entire shelf and rack in my closet, like built in. So it's not even just like a metal rack. It is like a full built-in wooden shelf with rack attached, built in to my wall of my house, like glued in, well, poorly nailed in, which I discovered. Anyways, that's besides the point. The thing came off the whole wall and all of my clothes were on the floor. But the clothes on the floor, that's not a big deal. You can pick that up, no problem. It's the fact that the whole shelf came out of the wall. Like glue and nails and everything off the wall. And if you're like, Ghoul, why are you surprised? You have so many clothes hanging on that freaking thing. I've seen your closet clean outs. I know. But isn't that what these things are for? To hold clothes? Maybe I missed how many shirts you can put on a rack in a closet. Maybe there's a limit and I hit the limit. But I don't know. It's not like I put all sweaters or like heavy, down coats on this rack. It's just like little thin shirts and sheer shirts and stuff. It's not really that heavy. So anyways, I'm sure it's heavy, but it's not like pull it out of the wall heavy. I don't know. Maybe they secured it poorly. That's besides the point. So anyways, what do I do as a grown woman? What do I do to solve the problem? Of course, I pick up the phone and I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, you won't believe what happened. I need your help. So my dad's coming over after we're done getting all these shirts out and doing the pre-order and everything. He's going to come help me get it back into the wall. But for now, all my clothes are all like, they're all draped over this little stool. So that happened. Then, oh, what's this? A whole branch in the middle of the road? Great. So then today I'm getting ready to leave my house. I'm walking out the door and the sole of my shoe, like the platform of my boot. I always wear the same platform boots. Doesn't matter if it's 900 degrees or 9 degrees. I wear the same boots. So I'm leaving the house today. And the whole sole of my boot, I can't go this way. Great. The whole platform of my boot falls off onto the floor. And I've been living on the edge, okay? I've known that this boot, like the sole has kind of been dangling a little bit. So I've known this. I should have just, I was living on the edge a little bit, everybody. I was kind of hoping maybe, and I wasn't hoping this, but I thought it would be funny in the back of my mind if I was at HomeGoods and the sole of my shoe fell off, and then I could say that I left my sole in the Halloween aisle at HomeGoods. Okay, but that's besides the point. Anyways, so the sole fell off my shoes. I had to go find a different pair of shoes to wear in my closet that has clothes everywhere because my dang rack fell off. So anyways, I wanted to tell you about this closet situation because it was hilarious. I mean, not funny at all, but I'm laughing on the inside because I don't cry. Anyway, so all of this is happening in the midst of just complete chaos everywhere in my life, in my house, everything. So, longest story longer, everything is literally falling apart. Even Mr. Skeleton, everybody, although he hasn't lost any new limbs, knock on wood, everybody. One last thing I have to worry about, I don't have to worry about meals this week because we're getting our Factor box this week because we did not get our Factor box last week. This video is sponsored by Factor, by the way. And one of the things I love about Factor is how flexible it is. So if you need to take a week off, you can take a week off and just resume the next week. So for us, we went out to dinner for Dallas's mom's birthday. So we thought we were going to have a couple meals. Then we were going to go to my mom's and swim. So we thought we'd do a meal there. And then my dad was supposed to come over. Well, all of our plans kind of fell apart. And that was a huge mistake. We should have gotten our Factor meals because that is exactly why I love Factor. For weeks like last week and this week where you're really busy with work or just life. And if you haven't heard of Factor before, Factor delivers fresh, never frozen meals straight to your door. They're nutritious and delicious. They take 2 minutes. You pop them in the microwave and they're ready to eat. They're so easy. They taste amazing. And one of the things we love so much about Factor is they have so many different meals to choose from. They have a weekly menu of 35 options, including Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, and Vegan and Veggie. And they change them up every single week, so we never get tired of the same meals every single day, which is something that I'm guilty of when I cook, as I tend to cook the same things every day. You can also discover more than 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, and beverages to help you stay fueled and feel good all day long. Anyways, if you want to give Factor a try, you can head to factor75.com.
or click the link below and use code LibraFB50 to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code LibraFB50 at Factor75.com to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year.
So definitely check out Factor if you've been needing a little bit of a break from your meals, or if you're just looking for something, maybe you're bored of the same old and you want to try something new. Their meals are so great, and we never get tired of their meals because they have so many to choose from. We love Factor. Anyways, we're here. We're gonna head in right now. We're gonna go to Michael's, and we're going into TJ Maxx. Oh, we were gonna talk about Sam's. Should we talk about Sam's real quick? Okay, let's talk about Sam's because I actually have to drive over there because I couldn't even find a parking spot, and I needed to do my little spiel, everybody. Man, I'm talking about Factor, now I'm drooling. Anyways, we're just gonna park right here. So let's talk about Sam's, what we saw at Sam's. So at Sam's, what do we see? Okay, they didn't have any of their big stuff out. Like, everything was still in boxes, but they did have some things. They had a big light up spider guy, and then a big Mickey Mouse inflatable thing. That was the pumpkin Mickey Mouse with the pumpkin ears. They had this animatronic witch. And then what else they had a little Mickey Mouse Spooky Town thing. It wasn't actual Spooky Town. It was just like a little Mickey Mouse house with the figures. They had a couple of wreaths. They had one, or did they both light up? They said boo. One said boo and was more in your face Halloween. Was the other one fall? All right, my camera overheated. But long story longer, they had some Halloween. They had some wreaths. I think that's where we left off. And I think that's all I saw. Anything else I'm missing, I'll show here. So anyways, we're here at Michael's, TJ Maxx HomeGoods Hybrid. We're going in. We're here at Michael's. It was so dang people-y in there, y'all. Michael's wasn't bad, but Michael's, the workers were putting out more Halloween. So they had a little bit more out, but they were still putting stuff out. They had like ladders and carts of things in the middle of the aisles, so I really couldn't get much. But I did get a little bit of the more gothic line. They had some really pretty picture framed looking artwork, just all different kinds. They had some that did the transition when you kind of walk by it. Like, one was a little Red Riding Hood, and then you pass by and then you see the wolf. Then another one was a siren, and then the other one was Edgar Allan Poe. So they had some of those where they kind of get scary when you walk by them. And then they had a really pretty ghost picture. It was like a ghost sitting on a chair in a library, it looked like. And then they had a floral looking one, like with some, it was like a floral painting or whatever. And so I don't know if they were wall decor or tabletop decor or both. I mean, I guess they could be both. And they had this new gothic looking cabinet that opened up, and some pillows. They had a black and a purple pillow, I think. And what else did they have in this area? They had some new stuff. We did see some new stuff. Lots of kind of art pieces, wall decor, tabletop decor, kind of painting, picture frame looking situations in this area. That was a lot of the new stuff. And I think, I also saw a coffin little shelf thing. And was there another little shelf that I'm missing? Oh, yeah, it was another coffin. There were a couple different coffin shelves. One was glass, and I think it was more of like a little tray thing. And then one was a coffin shelf with spider webs on the side. And then there was a wall decor piece that said something about the bat room, open 24 hours. Oh, and then they had a new cat painting and the witchy art piece back this year. They have a different witchy piece every year, and I got to see the one. They only had one left, and she's really pretty, black and white and gray kind of vibe. And what else do we see there? Anything else that I'm missing, I'll show here, but they are slowly adding. I thought I missed out last week and they had put the whole thing out, but turns out they didn't. They're just now getting the rest of it out. I think everyone is waiting for back to school because the crowds and the lines. Oh my gosh, you should have seen the lines at HomeGoods TJ Maxx Hybrid. It was on another level. The line was wrapped all the way around. But I did see some new dishware or bakeware kind of stuff. They had a square baking dish that had a skeleton couple in the center, and then on the outside it said till death. And then there was another bakeware, like casserole dish, that said trick or treat, and it had more of a gothic vibe. On the outside there were skulls and ravens and all sorts of different things on the outside. It's black and white. And then what else do they have in this area? I think it was like a skull shot glass or cocktail glass set. And then the skeleton wine holders are back this year, but there's a whole new pose. More of this skeleton lounging, cuddling with a wine bottle, and a little less suggestive than the one last year. I'll put that out there. Not as exciting. Then they had a ghosty wine bottle holder where you put the wine bottle and the ghost wraps around it. And what else did we see in the dishware area? Anything else new? We saw some Chucky salt and pepper shakers. We saw some sheets, some new sheets. There's like a Halloween in your face kind of sheet set. And some towels, some bathroom towels. They had a lot of ghosty ones this year. A ghosty in a bathtub. Just random ghosts on a black and white towel. Then there was a towel that had, it was like a hand towel that had more of a, kind of like a damask print. I saw some dish towels too that were really cute. It was this kind of, they had frames and little ghosts, like sheet ghosts in the frames. That was another one. And then, oh man, what else did we see in the decor area? Did we see anything else new in the decor area? I feel like we did. And oh, some spooky house decor. There's like a cute little spooky purple house that had a little skeleton dude hanging out in front. They had a candle holder. It was a gold candle holder with a wraith wrapping around it. And a couple of really big items. They had this big bench that had, it almost looked like hay on the top. And then two big jack-o'-lanterns as the like base of it. And then they also had a bat bar. It's like a big metal bar with a big bat on it. So it was a bat bar. It was just so busy in there. Man, I forget every year. I forget that the back to school grind, that last few days before school starts, it's a total disaster with parking, lines, everything. And then as soon as school starts, it's like a vacation. I get so excited because the parking and the weather usually starts kind of cooling down, at least at night. Even if it's really hot during the day, we can get out early, and usually it's not too hot yet. But man, I don't even care if it's hot. It could be scorching hot. If there are parking spaces and the line isn't horrible, I'm excited. I'm excited. So anyways, we saw some new spooky goods. It wasn't a super eventful day, but that's all right. Whoa! My phone vibrated in an area that was a little afternoon electrocution, everybody. All right, everyone, that's it. We're done. Stick a fork in us. Hey, everyone, it is another day. Halloween decor hunting with me and good old Mr. Skeleton. We are back out on the hunt, sir. All right, so today, Mr. Skeleton, what are we doing today? Oh, I forgot the freaking shoes that I was supposed to return. I'll do it next week. Hold on, Mr. Skeleton, sir. Hold on. Whoa. Today, we're going to a bunch of places. We're going to, first and foremost, this morning, we're going to HomeGoods. I want to knock that out before it gets too late. I'm already running a little late. I was trying to set up my new camera, so hopefully the visuals are okay. Hopefully the audio is okay. Anyways, where are we going today, Mr. Skeleton? We're going to start our day at HomeGoods, per usual. I like to hit HomeGoods first because after noon, I feel like it, although school has started, this is the first day that we are out hunting where I think all the kids are back at school. So I'm hoping traffic is pretty light today. Parking is good. I'm hoping for all the goods, but we're headed to HomeGoods first. Then I was wanting to stop by Menards today. I want to do Menards, Lowe's, Dollar Tree again. Then I wanted to go to, I might go to At Home and get some more pumpkins. Not sure though, because I'm looking for some gray pumpkins for my witch table. I kind of want to do grays, blacks, whites, and like a sage green, or I want to use those ferns. So a green color in there maybe. So green, black, white, and gray is what I'm looking for my witchy table this year. So we may go back to At Home and see what their pumpkins look like if we don't see anything at HomeGoods. So I'm looking for pumpkins at HomeGoods. They also had some moss. Was it at this one or it was at the other one? Dang, I need to look at this one. They had some good prices on their moss, and I'm looking for some moss for my my spooky town. So we're gonna look there too. I can't forget to look for that. Jay, do not forget. I don't know, maybe we need to think of a song for moss, a moss song, so I don't forget, because that's the one thing that works every time without fail. When I want to remember something, I make up a song. Just like that one song about the tomato soup at Target we made up. I still to this day remember, even though I'm not getting tomato soup at Target, that song still sticks in my head every once in a while. Because I never forget anything if I think of a song. What's something with moss? Moss, moss, moss. That moss, 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 moss. Baby, that moss. I like the way you moss that moss. Give me that moss. That moss, 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 moss. I don't know, what's one of Lucian's favorite songs right now? He likes, he doesn't know the thong song yet, luckily. But he likes Who Let the Dogs Out? Who let the moss out? Who? Or he also likes, this is a proud spooky mom moment, he really likes This Is Halloween from Nightmare Before Christmas. So we could always do, this is Mossoween, this is Mossoween, Mossoween. Anyways, we're not going to forget the moss now. We just came up with 3 different moss songs. The moss song, Who Let the Moss Out, and This is Mossoween. I think we need like our own moss album at this point to remember this dang moss, everybody. But I am looking for moss for my spooky town and possibly for my witch table. I don't know, we might incorporate some moss. So we got to look for some moss, 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 everybody. That was aggressive, I'm sorry. Anyways, okay, where are we going? HomeGoods, Menards, Lowe's, Dollar Tree, possibly at home, and we'll see where else the spooky wind blows us. Oh, look at this. HomeGoods is slammed. Well, I don't know. Let me get closer. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's good. We're good at HomeGoods, everybody. It's going to be another hot day today, everybody. It's supposed to be like 900 million degrees. It's supposed to be 95. Whoa, I didn't see you coming. I'm sorry. There's a big crane right there. So, oh man, there's front row parking right here. I love back to school. I love it. This is going to put me in a good mood, everybody. Look at this. Not a soul to be found. Oh, I can't wait to go in there and just cruise around with my cart. Okay, here we are at HomeGoods. We're going in, everybody. Stop number 1. Here we are. We just left HomeGoods, and oh my gosh, I did not think I'd see this in the flesh. It is glorious, you guys. This spider table. I'm just jumping right into it because I can't. It was so good. It's this spider table. It's got a glass top and this big spider as the base. And it is so beautiful. And if I didn't have a 9-month-old and a 2-year-old, I would probably get it. But I feel like that was a disaster waiting to happen. But dang, it was so good. Anyways, so they had this spider table. It was beautiful. And then the Halloween decor section with all the little knick-knack kind of stuff. That stuff was, so that store, I haven't been going to it a whole lot because they're doing a whole construction, they're redoing the whole store basically. And renovating it, that's the word I was thinking of. And the whole Halloween area, that's the part they're at right now. So they had a bunch of painters and stuff taped off and big carts in the way and people walking in and out and carrying stuff in and out. So I kind of just walked through really, really quickly. I didn't see anything new. I feel like, and we talked about this, I think the other day, that HomeGoods around this time, they usually, I feel like they start slowing down a little bit with the decor and they pick up with a lot of the dishware and party wear, that kind of stuff this time of year. So they had and sheets and stuff and bathroom stuff is usually later in the season. So, and bakeware, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, so they did have some pumpkins though in the fall section, like the fall harvest section, that were gray that I was looking for my witch table. I thought they'd be perfect. So I snagged those. Then I found my moss, everybody. I did remember my moss, and that store was just getting it in. It was on a cart still. So I was able to snag my moss. It's the perfect color. It's the perfect color green. It's not too Kelly green. It's not too bright green. It's like the perfect sage kind of spooky green. It's perfect. Anyway, I grabbed a couple of bags of this moss stuff. And then what else did we see? Oh, guess who else we saw at that HomeGoods? We saw Gary Guzzler, everybody. Gary Guzzler himself, the skeleton wine holder. We saw him in the flesh. And then we saw, what else did we, I saw this huge wine cooler. I think it's a wine cooler. Or it could be, any sort of beverage cooler. And it's this huge spooky house. It's a gold metal spooky house that I think you fill with ice and put beverages in it. Anyways, it was really cool. And I think did we see that another year, or am I just thinking of the Facebook group? I know people have been seeing it. Oh, shoot. I gotta go right. What am I thinking? In the candle section, saw a couple of really pretty candelabra looking things. One of them was this floral, was a dark floral, like a centerpiece. Had dark floral, and then it had the candlestick holders. And then another one was this branchy candelabra situation with branches and the little candlestick holders. And then what was the other one? Oh, they had some candlestick holders with spiders. They were metal with spiders. What else do we see in this area? I took a little visual of this area. Everything's very cluttered right now. And things are just thrown everywhere, pretty much, I feel like. They also had, what else was I thinking of just now? Oh, they had those plates with the spooky houses that we saw last week. Has the spooky house and the witch, who was not actually flying on a broom. I lied. Last week I thought she was flying on a broom. She's just kind of hanging out in front of the house, or kind of walking up to the house. Anyway, they were the little salad plates that go with that whole set. I didn't even know they had salad plates, but here we are. And I also saw a couple of casserole dishes. There was a Jack Skellington one, and there was a bunch of Snoopy ones I was trying to get visuals of, but there were two workers that were coming down the aisle with this big cart, so I turned around and ran away. And so that happened. But they had some Snoopy ones, or great pumpkin Charlie Brown ones or whatnot. They also had this tiered tray. It was a wood tiered tray with this metal crow on top. That was really pretty. And there was a bunch of ceramic stuff in this area too, like an Ursula cookie jar and a couple other things like that. But a lot of the stuff we've seen. Oh, and then we saw a picture that was really pretty with a witch flying on a broom. That was really good. And we usually see that one every year. And I don't remember what else we saw. There was a good selection of spooky goods, but a lot of it we've seen. But that table just knocked me out. It was so exciting. I forgot everything I was there for. A lot to see there. They had a ton of Halloween, but a lot of the stuff we've been seeing over the last several weeks. I also saw some Royal Stafford. How could I forget? They had Royal Stafford plates. I thought they were out of business. But then I looked it up and it looks like somebody bought them. Like they bought them out or something, or I don't know. They sold to another company and they're merging, I think. I don't know what I was reading about it, but something like that. But they did have some Royal Stafford witch plates. I can't remember what year that collection came out with. It was a similar design to what we saw. Like it wasn't a new graphic. It was one we had seen before, but they still had it. So I'm excited that they're still carrying Royal Stafford. And even though they didn't come out with a new design this year that I've seen yet, I was excited to see them. Anyways, they did have some new spooky goods at HomeGoods, so I was happy to see it. All right, anyways, we're sitting here at Menards. We're going in. All right, we're here at Menards. All right, so we're leaving Menards, and oh my... we saw the spooky goods at Menards. They were fully stocked, and fully stocked. It looks like they just put everything out. Nothing at all picked over, and I don't even know where to start because they had so much to look at. Okay, let's start with the animatronics and the blow-up things, because that was more of the in-your-face stuff. That's the first thing I saw. They had a bunch of blow-ups up on this top shelf thing, and they had a headless horseman blow-up that was really cool looking. Probably one of the better headless horseman blow-ups. And then I don't even remember what else was up here because all I could look at was the headless horseman, because I'm a headless horseman ghoul. But they had a bunch of other spooky blow-ups in this area too. Then they also had this big witch blow up. So it's just a huge witch. And then this little, I don't even know if it was a yak. What was it? I don't know, some sort of woolly beast situation blow up. And then they had a bunch of other blow ups in boxes, cutesy ones. They had some scary looking ones and like all those inflatable kind of things. Then in the animatronics had a big skeleton. I don't know if it was 10 feet or 8 feet or what it was, with the eyeballs that look around, and he said something. I'll play it here. And then they had a rotten pumpkin patch looking guy.
Run everywhere. It will keep the Lowe dead soul. And soon they will be large enough to overtake this level realm.
And then they had this deer skeleton. I don't even know what he was. Deer skeleton. And then they had this big, ghoulish, ghostly, reaper-looking guy.
I waited so long for this moment.
What else did they have? They had some trees, some twinkly light-looking trees. They had some blow molds. They had a big skull, stacked skull blow mold, and a gnome blow mold. And what was the other one? Can't remember what the other blow. Oh, they had some candles, some big-looking candles. And then they had, there was another one in here. I can't remember what it was. They had some tombstones. Their tombstones are pretty good. But as far as tombstones go, I gotta go with Home Depot, you guys. I cannot wait to see their tombstones this year. I think that's the last thing that I'm really looking for. I mean, I'm sure I'll see other things out there in the wild. But as far as like what's left on my list, I think the tombstones, I think that's pretty much what's left on my list. Maybe I'm forgetting something. But, I mean, of course, I want to see places like Target and Walmart and all those kinds of places. I don't want to park there because I do not want the sun beating down on me, because I got places to go, Halloween to talk about. If I park where the sun is facing the windshield, it always overheats my camera. Speaking of overheating, my armpits are sweating. Don't pull out there. I'm coming through. So anyways, what else did we see? What else are we talking about? They had, what other spooky goods did they have? Oh my gosh, they had so much stuff, you guys. They had a bunch of candle holders, candlestick holders. They had candle holders with bats. They had ones that looked more gothic looking. They had ones with skulls. They had melted looking candles, like little LED candles. They had a bunch of different LED candles, actually. They had bone ones. They had these witch finger looking ones that comes with a little mirror and it melts the fingers. I almost got that just out of curiosity. I wonder what it looks like. And they had, what other candles did they have in this area? Did they have skull candles, or am I imagining that? But they had some other candles in this area. They had, they had the wax warmers. They had a black cat wax warmer and a jack-o'-lantern looking wax warmer. They had some lanterns. They had one lantern that looked like the one from Michael's last year that looked like or maybe it was 2 years ago. It looked like a cathedral window kind of thing with bats flying up. There was a lantern that had spider webs, or bird cage looking thing. It was a bird cage thing with spider webs. And they had this, it was a circular, like spherical looking lantern with bats. And, oh man, what else do they have in this area? They had some floral. They had black roses with purple, like a purplish gray floral situation. And then they had black roses with, I think, orange pumpkins. They had some wreaths in here. They had one that had all the ornaments kind of looking. We see those everywhere. And then another one, what was the other one? There was a branchy black looking one, and then there was another one. But they had some wreaths in here. And they also had a bunch of signs, like a whole aisle of signs. So they had anything from wall decor to the big stand-up signs. So some of the wall decor they had these skull, what are those things called? I always forget what they're called. They're like busts, but they're called something. Dang it, I always forget the name of it. If you've been around here for a long time, you know. Cameo. That's it. Every time I forget the name of that dang thing. They were cameo bust looking things. framed, and then they had some other signs that said flying lessons or witchy things. They had one that said welcome, another one about family, this family is baddie or something like that. They had a bunch of just different signs and all the different kind of color schemes. They also had some neon looking signs. One said boo, and what was the other one? Trick or treat, I think it said. And oh, they had these stained glass looking things. It was like a circular stained glass situation. One had ghosties and one had a witch, but I had never seen those before. Those are really pretty. They had a bunch of signs, wall decor, all that kind of stuff. And what else did they have? Oh, they had a bunch of tabletop decor. Oh man, I don't even know. They had skulls. They had skulls with mushrooms. They had skull pedestal looking things, I think. They had skull busts. They had a bunch of skulls in here. And then they had, oh, they had some vintage looking stuff, which that's what I'm looking for, the vintage type of stuff for my in-your-face Halloween kitchen. And I feel like the vintage stuff has kind of taken a back seat lately in the last couple of years. So I'm always looking for the vintage stuff. And I feel like not a lot of stores are putting out the vintage stuff. But they did have a couple of vintage looking pieces in this area. They had a crow wearing one of those clown neck things, and then it was sitting on a pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern. I think it was a jack-o'-lantern. And then they also had this critter wearing a mask, but they did have some vintage looking pieces in here. They had, oh, these really cute little mushroom, little toadstool guys with faces. It's like a little cluster of mushrooms. That was really cute. They had a big toad. They had a toad, and then they had a toad skeleton. And they had some disco ball ghosts. They had some pumpkins in here. And man, what else do they have in this area? They had so much stuff. And a lot of it was kind of random. There wasn't necessarily a theme. They had a couple of items that went together, but mostly I feel like it was just a bunch of random pieces. They had like a wraithy looking, was it like a wraithy witch looking thing? They had a lot of stuff. They had some tabletop decor that said various things like, I'm going to get you my pretties, or like those types of things. Or I don't know if one had moon phases. One was a moth. And one had days. That's what I'm thinking of. It had to count down the days. They had some potion bottles that said various things. And then they had these canisters, these metal canisters that I feel like could also go in a vintage inspired theme. And oh man, I know I'm forgetting stuff, but they had some spooky goods in here. All sorts of stuff. Oh, they had some gnomes. That's what they had. Dang it, they had gnomes, everybody. The gnomes are at Menards, everybody. And anything else I'm missing, I'll show here. But lots of spooky decor in here. They also had a whole little jack-o'-lantern section that had some classic looking jack-o'-lanterns, some black and orange looking jack-o'-lanterns. And they also had a couple of, like an Ursula and this talking tree guy. And they had, oh man, what else am I thinking of that I just blanked on? I was just thinking about it. Was it more outdoor stuff? Oh, Boneyard, that's what it is. They had a little bone zone with skeleton, all the different skeleton kind of things. They had actual skeletons. They had a black skeleton. Did it have the black skeleton? I think had bedazzlements on it maybe, and then a classic skeleton. They had dragon skeleton heads. They had snail decor. That's what I'm missing. They had some snail decor over in the tabletop decor section. They had one snail that had a cauldron on his back, and then another snail that had a skull instead of the shell. They had a lot of spooky goods. Then they had their full-blown spooky town, whatever, the Pumpkin Hollow, I think is what they call it. And it was in full force. Their collection this year is so good. They had everything in stock. I didn't even know. I was trying to make some decisions for my themes, and I couldn't. So Dallas and I are probably going to have to go back. But they had all sorts of stuff. Classic Halloween, jack-o'-lanterns, jack-o'-lantern trees, pumpkin patch looking things. They had a pub. They had one of them was like this witch. Was she on a rocket ship or something? I don't know if I'm imagining things. They had a cat. I think it wasn't a cat motel, but it was like a grooming place. And they had spooky houses, just classic spooky houses. They had a tree house looking thing with trolls. That had this guy that kind of went up and down. They had, oh man, what else did they have? They had a lighthouse and a ship, like a whole little ship thing. And all the people and all the little knick-knack things, you know, the little tombstones and the little jack-o'-lantern head guys and trick-or-treaters and all those things. Wheelbarrows. They had little light-up, little ghouly-looking guys. And, oh, a witch flying on a broom, little silhouette thing. They had so many good pieces in here. Their Spooky Town, they went all out this year. I will say the quality is different than Spooky Town, but it is cheaper. So it's way less expensive, but you don't get like the paint job. I'd say the Pumpkin Hollow, the paint jobs are a little, sometimes they get a little outside the lines. The paint jobs on the Spooky Town are better. And then Department 56, I feel like, is the best quality-wise, but you're getting it, then the prices go up as the quality gets better, so you kind of get what you pay for. That's to be expected, in my opinion. But they had some really good Spooky Town looking, or Pumpkin Hollow, whatever they call it. We got to go back, Dallas and I got to go back. Anyways, I think that's it. That's all we saw. Anything else I'm missing? I know I'm missing something, but anything else I'm missing, I'll show here. But they had the spooky goods at Menards, fully stocked. So excited. Okay, and I got some things. And I just filmed the haul, and I got more things. So anyways, I was all excited. So now we're going in here. We're here at Lowe's. Lowe's knows everybody. We're going into Lowe's. Here we go. We're barely breathing, everybody. It's a sauna. Right, everyone, we just left Lowe's. Oh my freaking... you guys, it is so freaking hot. I do not know what is happening with my back right now, but whatever back sweat situation's happening is none of my business right now. It is none of my business. I can't see it. It's not happening. But I'm pretty sure it looks like I just dunked my whole back in a pool. My back only. All right, anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, we just went into Lowe's. They were setting up, well, they were kind of finishing setting up, but I don't think I was supposed to be in there, because then I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be in there until I saw the gates later, and then I noticed they kind of blocked it off a little bit, but there was like a whole walkway area that wasn't blocked off, but that was probably for the employees. Anyways, I felt super bad, so I got a couple of visuals. Okay, well, the people who were setting up were dressed in regular garb, so I thought that they were just shopping. I didn't know that they were setting up at first. Then I realized as they were talking about setup, and then I saw them pulling out stuff out of boxes, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're setting up, and I'm sitting here, the only person, the only, what do you want to call it, shopper in here in the Halloween area, and there's a gate right here blocking it off, but it wasn't the whole thing. There was like 2 walkways where you could get in, but I think that was so the employees could set up. Anyways, I felt so bad. I didn't ask if I should be there, but I kind of got the hint, so I got a couple of visuals before I knew what was happening, and then I got out of there because I was so embarrassed. Anyways, I got some visuals of the animatronics. They didn't have the try me button set up yet, but there is a huge Nosferatu in there. Huge. He is so good looking, y'all. He looks good. Not in that way, but like he looks good as in like a Halloween decoration, like as far as an animatronic. Anyways, so that's what we saw at Lowe's. I'm letting my camera rest and kind of cool down a little bit since we weren't in there very long, and I jabbed my jaws about Menards for 300 years, so my camera is a little bit warm. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drive to Dollar Tree. I'll meet you guys there, and then by then my camera will be cooled down, so we're gonna do that. Oh man, it's hot. All right, I basically went into Dollar Tree and walked out. Not only did they not have any new Halloween in there, but everything we saw last week was completely picked over, like gone. We're gonna go, where are we going? We're going home. And then we'll be back out on the hunt another day. I don't know. Hey everyone, it is another day. Halloween decor hunting with me and good old Mr. Skeleton. It is technically another week Halloween decor hunting with me and good old Mr. Skeleton. But it's gonna be in the same video, I think. I don't know. I never know. I just put it all together at the end of the day. So, what are we doing today, Mr. Scott? Our allergies today. I am Flemmy the Flamingo, everybody. So today, I think we're going to start our day at Target because it's
after back to school, they should at any minute be getting their, what I always want to call it, the dollar spot. What is it? Oh, the Bullseye Playground, which is their dollar section, should start getting stuff out anytime if it's not already out. Then I've been seeing that they're starting to get their threshold line out. So we're going to check it out. Hold on one second. My mom's calling. Hello.
Did you ring?
Yeah, I was just calling to tell you something funny about Lucian. I took him into class today. The whole class goes, "Hi, Lucian."
And what did he do?
He got so excited. He was so excited. So, what were we talking about? Oh, Target. So Target is starting to get out the threshold line right now. So we're going to go check that out, see if they have any of their Bullseye Playground. You know, I almost said dollar spot. Again, I can't get it out of my head. And dollar spot and, Bullseye Playground. Dang it! Got me again. Also, I want to have my eyes peeled for my niece for her birthday wants a Starbucks Halloween cup. And you know, as her spooky aunt, I gotta come through for my ghoul. I gotta come through for her. So we'll be on the hunt for those as they're coming out. She really wants, I don't even know if she knows what they look like. She just wants a spooky Starbucks cup. She's 9, you guys. She's getting into that, or she's about to be 9. She's getting into that age where they're starting to like, you know, or she was like, I also thought maybe some moisturizer or some face products. Like she's starting to get really into that kind of stuff, which I think is so cute. So anyways, the whole reason we're going out to this area is because I need to return some shoes at Nordstrom Rack. So we're going to check Nordstrom Rack too, to see if they have any Halloween out. But that was the whole reason we're going out here. But also in this area, there's the Michaels and TJ Maxx HomeGoods hybrid, right? In that area. So you know we're crawling back to HomeGoods, y'all. And Michaels, because we still haven't seen a fully stocked Michaels. What is going on, Michael? So we're going to stop by Michaels, and we're going to stop by TJ Maxx HomeGoods again, because we can't help ourselves. And then we're going to go over to, I really wanted to stop by Ollie's. We're going to a bunch of places today. Want to stop by Ollie's to see, okay, I saw on the Facebook group that some people's Ollie's got a bunch of Joann's Halloween stuff. So I wanted to see if they got any of that. And just in general, check it out. So I'm going to go up to Ollie's. Then, where else are we going to go? Where else? Oh, we're going to stop at that Dollar Tree also in that area to see. It's a totally different Dollar Tree to see where they're at with their Halloween stuff. And I really want to go back to Lowe's today, but it's all going to depend on how late it gets and how hot it gets and how tired I get. Because when it gets this hot, like it's supposed to be another freaking hot day, y'all. When it gets this hot, it starts draining me mentally and physically. So I can't stay out too late. Your ghoul's getting old, everybody. So anyways, I also have a mosquito bite on my knee. Oh, what else did I do? What happened to my house? Oh, so you know I told you the story about my closet. I think I told you that story. I don't even know what planet I'm on right now, but I think I told you the story about my closet. So get this. The other day, I'm putting Lucian on the potty. We're attempting potty training-ish, which we've been pretty successful with so far, but I'm not gonna put that out there because I've heard all sorts of stories that sometimes they catch on, and when they're still pretty early and they're just turning 2, that sometimes they can fall back a little bit and then they catch on again and they can kind of go back and forth a little bit. And then I've heard by 3, typically it's easier. So I'm not going to put a bunch of pressure or make it this crazy thing. Right now, we're just introducing the potty and kind of getting into the swing of things. So far, it's going well, though. So if it goes well and it just continues to go well, then I'm just going to go with that. Anyways, I had him on the potty, and I go to flush the toilet, and water starts coming out of the base of my toilet all over my hardwood floors. And I'm like, what? Like, I wasn't ready. I don't know what was going on. Well, first of all, wiped it all up and all that kind of stuff. But we had to get that fixed. So we had a leak. So now we got to get this whole water company to come out. And I was noticing my floors looked slightly off, but they weren't warping really. It just looked like there was like slightly a little more gapping in one of the areas. And then it turns out it was leaking. So now we got to get this water mold people to come out and do this whole thing. It's a whole thing. Anyways, so we've got a whole, okay, I can deal with a shelf falling off my closet because I think that's a decently easy fix. But water, oh, anything with water makes me just want to cry. It makes me want to cry because it is a whole process. All right, we're here at Target. We're going to go see what they got. Let's go, Mr. Skeleton. We saw Halloween at Target, everyone. I don't even know where to start. There was a little bit of something in every section. But the Bullseye Playground, so far, they were just starting to get stuff out. There were a lot of empty shelves, so I could tell that they have a lot more to put out. But the spooky goods were good in the little Bullseye Playground area. I always want to say dollar spot. I just can't help it. Man, I'm about to pee my pants. I have been looking for gray pumpkins. Like monochromatic, gray, black, and white-ish pumpkins. And I was just going to paint some, is what I was going to do. But I've been looking for some at all the various stores. And there they were at the Bullseye Playground for an affordable price. They had little ones and they had small-ish size ones. But they were terracotta, black, gray, and whitewash looking pumpkins. And then they also had some little terracotta ghost candlestick holders, like a little set. And they also had some terracotta skulls. They were little planters, little mini skull planter things in black and white. So the terracotta area, I thought that was so cute and so classy for the Bullseye Playground. I was impressed, very impressed. Then they had, what else do they have in this area? They also had some candles in this area, some bleeding candles, and what were the other candles? They had something else in this area I'm not thinking. Oh, it was a little cauldron candle with little wax that was bubbly, and it smelled like pumpkin spice. It smelled so good. And then it was like pumpkin brew is what they were calling it. Then they had a little witchy area that had a book. It was a wooden book. So we see a lot of these book containers, but they're usually cardboard-ish. This was wood. And it had like a whole witchy thing on the front. And then they also had some little witchy things. Little sets. One was a black magic set that had more of a crystal ball looking thing. And the other one had little brooms and other witchy things. So it was a little witchy section. Then they also had some little potion bottles that said various things. They had one with a little witch hat topper, one with a skull topper, one with a ghost topper, and I think the other one was a jack-o'-lantern topper. And they also had various things in various colors. And then they had a couple of the little the little vial looking things, or the smaller looking potion bottle looking things that said werewolf's fur, and then the other one said, what did the other one say? Something bat fangs? I don't remember, but it was something like that. So I thought about, I don't know if I want to do this or not because I'm afraid I'm going to forget, and I don't think I would forget. So I thought about doing this with the werewolf fur little container. So I saved some, oh great, I'm gonna freaking cry. I don't want to cry. I don't think I can talk about it right now. I can't talk about it. So we're gonna move on to what else was in the Bullseye Playground. They also had some pillows. They had a cauldron pillow, Frankenstein cat. Was it a Frankenstein cat? And a dog dressed as a ghost, I think. And then some other little plushy looking pillow things. Oh, and there was a spooky house with little ghosty. And then they also had the cutest little drink things. They're not tumblers. They're like little drink, water bottle things. They had a ghosty one. They had this potion bottle one that was so cute. Then they had these little ceramic pumpkins that were iridescent looking. They had orange iridescent and white iridescent in various shapes. And then they also had these little ornaments, these little blow mold ornaments that were really cute. They had witchy ones. They had Frankenstein. They had a Reaper. They had a jack-o'-lantern head guy. Anyways, they had these little blow mold, like mini blow mold ornaments that were really cute. And what else they have? Oh, then they also had these ceramic Frankenstein's monster, or I call him Frankenstein. I know it's Dr. Frankenstein is the doctor, but I call him Frankenstein anyways, because in all of Lucian's children books and everything, it's always Frankenstein, and that's what he looks like. So anyways, Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein in these ceramic, like little ceramic heads. And let me tell you about these ceramic heads. They looked like they were nipped and tucked, and they had some work done for sure. No judgment. I mean, Frankenstein looked like he had some lip filler. And the Bride of Frankenstein looked like a little facelift. But you know what? If you're getting... I mean, it's basically like you're getting fully constructed as a human and your skin was sewn together. You'd hope it would be sewn tight. You know what I mean? Not that the semantics matter here, but I would think your skin would be pulled tight, you know? So maybe they're just going for the realistic aspect of it. So what else were we talking about? Oh, then they had, did they have other ceramic things in here? Oh, no, they had some pumpkins, some jack-o'-lanterns. They had a purple jack-o'-lantern, an ombre-looking jack-o'-lantern, a couple little jack-o'-lanterns in here. And then they were starting to put out their kids' toy, like little knick-knack looking toy things. And this is my first year doing boo baskets for my boys. But they did have some Play-Doh looking stuff, some spooky Play-Doh stuff. They had some that come with the cutouts. They had these monster cutouts that had different original, you know, OG monsters. They had a Snoopy one, or Great Pumpkin, and then they had Scooby-Doo. And then they also had some bathtub foam things that you can stick to the wall. Lucian loves those. So they had the monsters, they had Mickey, and they had Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. And what else did they have in this area? They had something else that I'm not remembering. Oh, they had some other toys, like light up toys, and they had those little, oh gosh, Lucian is just now getting into these things where you poke the holes, you poke the little, I don't even, popper, I don't know what they call them, pop up little, the bubbles that pop up, I don't even know. Anyways, Lucian loves those. And then they had a couple squeezy guys where you squeeze it and there's a guy that pops up. They were just getting started in this area. Oh, they also had bubble bath, Halloween bubble bath. They had a purple cat, they had a pumpkin, and they had a ghost. I don't know why I almost said a boo, but they had a ghost. So, anyways, they had all sorts of little Halloween trinkets in here, but they were just getting started at the same time, but I'll continue to show what I saw. But they did have some good Halloween stuff and some good little play, like toys and bubbles and all sorts of things for kids or adults or whoever wants to buy it, like I mentioned. Then they had a little section where they had put out some blow molds. They had a jack-o'-lantern head blow mold. They had a little tombstone. I think it said trick or treat on it. They had a couple of pumpkins. One said boo. What was the other one? I can't remember because it wasn't working. I was trying to get those things to work, and those ones didn't light up. They had a stacked skull one, and then they had a couple of boo buckets or trick-or-treat buckets, but I think they're more for gift baskets. So I think these companies are starting to jump on these boo basket bandwagons. They had some cute stuff. That area was just getting started. I did not see any threshold stuff yet. I walked through the whole area. I didn't see any out. But they did have some of the blow mold stuff, and they did have some of their Bullseye Playground. And, oh, they also had some clothes. They had in the women's section, they had a couple of new items. I showed some of it a couple videos ago, showed some of the women's stuff, but they had a camo ghost sweatshirt that I think was new, a Bride of Frankenstein shirt, and a Nightmare Before Christmas sweatshirt. Yeah, we'll keep checking because it looks like they're starting to put stuff out. It looks like their back to school section's getting majorly picked over. So anytime, it's usually closer to Labor Day at Target. Last year, it was after Labor Day. If you remember, we were hunting so late at Target last year. We've been sitting in the parking lot at HomeGoods and TJ Maxx Hybrid and Michael's for like 3,000 years. So we're going in. We're here visiting the Elder Wasp. Here we go. All right, we just left HomeGoods, TJ Maxx Hybrid, and Michael's. So we didn't see a whole lot of new stuff at HomeGoods, but the stuff we saw was pretty good. First of all, I walked in, I wasn't expecting to see much, and there she was in all of her glory. There was this picture I've been seeing floating around out there with this witch silhouette
It is glorious. And there she was with the intricate frame. I didn't think I was going to see her because I saw the ghost ones earlier, like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh, I probably won't see any of the other Halloween looking wall decor picture things. But there she was in all of her glory, this witch silhouette picture. And she was beautiful. And then they also had a couple of new dish towels that were pretty. One was this spooky house situation, Halloween in your face. And then a couple of new ghosty towels. Actually, some really cute ghosty towels. A couple of really, really cutesy. Well, actually, they were all kind of cutesy. But some were cutesier than others. But a lot of ghosty towels this year. I'm seeing more ghosts on towels than I've ever seen. Then, what else did we see that was new? Oh, we saw some shower curtains. They had some new shower curtains. Some with spider webs. Some with ghosts. And what was the other one? But it had like the fuzzy look. I think it was Martha Stewart Goth. And then they had some other shower curtains that had various Halloween looking landscapes or Halloween looking characters and stuff on them. Oh, I just want to park right here, I think. I'm here at Nordstrom Rack already because it's all in the same little area. But I got to return these shoes. My mother-in-law got Lucian these cute little Elmo shoes. And these are so cute. But this one, the whole strap isn't even there. It's not even on the shoe. I don't even know what happened. So anyway, I got to return these. Hopefully they let me return them for her. Anyways, so what were we talking about? Oh, HomeGoods. What else did we see? Oh, some new soap dispensers. They had it wasn't cute, it was spooky, but amazing witch soap dispenser. I loved her so much. Oh, she was such a good looking witch. Then they had other soap dispensers. I just got a visual of all of them. Lots of ghosties, Mickey, Stitch, Hello Kitty, Casper, Snoopy. Lots of cutesy soap dispensers in this area. But they did have some new soap dispensers I got visuals of. And then anything else I'm missing, I'll show here. I'm sure I'm missing other things. Like I think there were a couple Frankenstein decor pieces. Lots of random things I ran into. But honestly, not a whole lot of new stuff. In the dishware, in the decor area. It was a lot of the same kind of stuff we've been seeing. But they did have a couple of new things, but for the most part, it was a lot of the same kind of stuff. But they were fully stocked with Halloween. It was just a lot of the stuff. I just didn't want to show a ton of repeats of the same kind of stuff we've been seeing. So we could kind of move on and see some of the stuff that we haven't seen yet. So went over to Michael's. Michael's is still, like, they still have carts in the middle of everything, and they're still putting stuff out. I didn't see anything either. I haven't seen anything new in these couple of lines, or they've already been way picked over. I don't think they've been picked over yet, though, because, I mean, some of the stuff has, but even some of the stuff that a lot of people, like the skeletons doing the most, those don't sell out super early. So they still don't have those out, so I think they're still putting a lot of stuff out. But so I didn't see anything new that we didn't see a couple days ago. So we're going to keep checking. But I did see they had all their minis out. So they had all these different minis. They had witchy minis, like little witch hats, little cauldrons, mantles, bookshelves, little cottage looking things, chairs with a witch hat in there. They had witches like standing around. Were they standing around a cauldron or just all standing together? And then an old hag looking witch. They had a headless dude. They had a crystal ball. They had, what else do they have in this area? Lots of different little minis. They had like stacks of skulls and couches and what else? Ravens, little road signs, and lots of different minis in here. Oh, they had a fountain that was really pretty, and tombstones. They had a bunch of little minis here. And oh, they also had a little setting that had a mantle, and was there a cauldron, or it was like a witchy little mantle setup thing that was a larger piece. And I want to say that's all we saw. Oh no, then I also saw over in the little animatronic looking area, they had, or like these boxed decor pieces, they had that lamp, the skull lamp I've been seeing out there, where it has the skulls. And then they had, I think that's a popular item this year, which I really like. I just don't have, I'm running out of room, everybody.
So I have to be very selective, but that's such a good piece this year. They also had a cat, black cat. What else do they have? A couple of other little animatronic looking guys here. We'll be checking back. I'll be keeping you guys posted, but that's what we saw at Michael's. But we're here at Nordstrom Rack. We're going to go see if they have Halloween here, and we're going in. All right, so we just left Nordstrom Rack. They didn't have any Halloween decor. They just had a couple of onesie, like pajama onesie situations. One was a mummy look, like with a wrapped look. Then another one was a jack-o'-lantern face with a little pumpkin hood. And then the other one was a skeleton. And then they also had some shorts, some boxer-looking shorts. Oh, and a little short sleeve shorts combo pajama set thing with, it was purple with cats and all sorts of things on it. But that's what we saw at Nordstrom. I cruised over here to Dollar Tree. We're going to run in really quickly to Dollar Tree and see what they got. So here we go. All right, we're here at Dollar Tree. Looks like Dollar Tree's getting a new roof, everybody. Mr. Skeleton, it says 105 degrees. 105. I wasn't prepared. I was not. I'm hoping this is the last day. This has to be one of the last hot days. It has to be. It has to be. I know I think we're supposed to get a cool front. I do think we are. But this is what happens. This is the yo-yo time of year where you get like a couple of nice days and you're like, ooh, is it fall? And then you get smacked in the face with 106. Like the hottest day of the whole year is late in the season mixed in with a whole bunch of nice days. It's a whole other level. Anyways, we just left Dollar Tree. We're sweating, Mr. Skeleton. We left Dollar Tree. And they put out a couple of new things. This is a totally different one. They did not have those skull trees. I don't think I'm going to find them. That's okay. It is what it is. But they did have a couple of new things that I hadn't seen before. They had some, what did they have? So they had this whole little area of some potion bottle looking stuff and like laboratory bottle looking stuff. And then they did have some glass ones that were little mini witch potion looking things that said various things like, I don't know, witch's brew and whatever else. Then they had, what else they have? They had this big skull plate. And then they had a couple of things of soap, like hand soap. They had a ghost, an eyeball, a skull, and what was the other one? Was there a jack-o'-lantern stack kind of thing? Oh, and then they had little glass jack-o'-lantern, lantern things. It was just a little area of some Halloween stuff. And then they did have some of the stuff we saw last time at Dollar Tree, where it was some of the like pumpkins and the little projector looking guys and stuff like that, or little candles. That's what they were, little candles that we saw last time we went to Dollar Tree. They were just little mini candles with the spider webs on them. We see those every year at Dollar Tree. They had some of those. So they did have some of that stuff that was really picked over. So I think they had like a first round of stuff they put out that got picked over already, and now they're putting out some of this potion stuff. They did have a wall decor sign that was a witchy wall decor sign, and they had some placemats and a spider web table runner. So they did have a couple of new things in. They're still putting stuff out. Looks like they still have a lot of school supplies and stuff like that. They did have some candy. It wouldn't be Halloween hunting at Dollar Tree without looking for some candy. And I found some Halloween candy there. These spooky sour Mike and Ike's. We've had sour Mike and Ike's from Dollar Tree before, but not the spooky ones, not the Halloween ones. The flavors are sour ghoulish grape, sour orange scream, and sour wicked watermelon. So we're going to try all three flavors, not at the same time, but I'm going to tell you what I think. Last I tried these were not sour at all. So let's try the sour ghoulish grape. Delicious. Already. Not that sour, but really good. Then sour orange scream. We're mixing flavors at this point. Oh, but they're strong enough you can taste them. I'm not a big artificial orange person. I don't know if anyone else is like that. Artificial orange just does not do it for me. Now let's do sour wicked watermelon. Pretty good. And artificial watermelon is weird too. But I feel like artificial watermelon, it's its own flavor that's really good in my mind. It tastes nothing like watermelon. It's just its own watermelon flavor. They're so good. The grape, though, is where it's at, in my opinion. These are really good. Perfect amount of sour, but not knock your socks off sour. If you're looking for really sour, these aren't it. But it's like that good sour light. But the flavors are really good. And that's what matters, too. By the way, I also found some little pumpkins for my spooky town. And they had all these different colors of pumpkins. And I got all these little fake leaves because I'm going to make my own little baby leaves for my spooky town. All right. There we go. Mr. Skeleton, we're here at Ollie's. I don't know if they have Halloween here. My mother-in-law said they had some fall and Thanksgiving stuff, but she didn't say anything about Halloween. So we're going to go see if they got the spooky goods. Here we go at Ollie's. We're right here by Ross. So I figured we run into Ross really quickly. Then we'll talk about, oh, I'm about to get hit by a car. Talk about Rossi and Ollie's in the car. Shall reconvene. All right, we just left Ollies and Ross. And I don't know what it is about today, but I feel, what is with the traffic? It's 1 o'clock on a Monday. I feel like today's been a little bit slow. And I know we kind of talked about, just a minute ago, we talked about how there's this lull in the middle of the season right before you get another huge surge of Halloween. But I feel like today was kind of, we saw some good Halloween. Like that witch picture from HomeGoods was good. It was good. And some good towels. But, and then we saw the minis at Michael's. I guess we did see some stuff. But I just don't feel like I saw a lot of, I mean, maybe it just wasn't what I was looking for. Maybe that's just, and those days happen where you just don't really see much that you're looking for, even though I bought stuff apparently. So apparently I saw something I was looking for. But let's talk about Ollie's first. Ollie's didn't have a lot of Halloween. They had a couple of things. Nothing to write home about, in my opinion. It was mainly like they had some hanging ghouly looking guys. And what else? Some witch hat, dangly witch hat things. And what do you call those hot pad things? What do you call those things? They had one that was a candy corn and one that was, I can't remember, had bright colors on it. That's all I remember. Candy? Was it candy? And they had a little jack-o'-lantern guy that almost looked like it could be from Joann's, because it looked like a similar jack-o'-lantern face to the Joann stuff. But I didn't see a lot that I was that excited about at Ollie's, to be honest with you. But I know that place is hit or miss. It just is one of those places. It looks like they haven't gotten Halloween out yet, but they're starting, because they did have some pillows. They had one that said trick or treat, one with a witch flying on a broom, one, what was the other one? I don't know, a couple other Halloween pillows in there too. But they were just getting started. It looked like they had some fallout, like just in general fall decor, pumpkins and leaves and stuff. But Halloween wise, it was slim pickings. They're all, I almost always say Aldi. It's Ollie's. Then we cruise over to Ross, because Ross is right there. So I was like, might as well stop by. Ross had quite a few things, but all of it was pretty much cutesy, cartoony, very cutesy kind of stuff. Like they had some shower curtains with Jack Skellington. They also had a really cute shower curtain that was black and white checkers with bats. I like that one too. And they had some mugs and ceramic stuff, but once again, mainly pretty cutesy. They had these little cutesy little teacups or mug or coffee cups or whatever, and saucer sets that had little masks, and they were kind of cutesy looking, and pastels. Lots of pastels in this area. They had a ghost that had a pastel situation going on. Mickey Mouse, like a little glass that had Mickey Mouse on it. It said trick or treat, I think, on it. Then they had, once again, more cutesy stuff. Some in your face Halloween, like little jack-o'-lanterns, like a little soap dispenser with jack-o'-lanterns. They had some scary looking jack-o'-lantern pathway light things. By the way, if you're sensitive to light, I'm going to show this. You might just close your eyes until I'm done talking about it, but I'm just warning you, if you're sensitive to light, this one is really annoying. And they had some other animated lights.
Halloween night is almost here.
One of them, I think, had Mickey, and it's saying Monster Mash. The other one was something about a witch, something about a witch. And then there was a Jack Skellington one. They had a mummy guy. What else? Ghosties. Lots and lots and lots of cutesy stuff in this area. Pretty much everything was cutesy. So some of it was classic Halloween, but lots of it was like kind of the pastel kind of stuff, or really cutesy smiley face kind of stuff. But I would say the most Halloween in your face stuff I saw, they did have some pillows, but once again, they were cutesy. Not that there's a problem with cutesy, just everything today at Ross was cutesy. They had it was a vampire pillow, but it was like a little smiley face vampire, like cutesy. They had a pillow with witches flying on brooms. That one was more classic Halloween. They had another pillow, was it bedazzled? I can't remember, but they did have some Halloween pillows in here. I didn't see any blankets though, surprisingly. They usually have a ton of blankets. But yeah, everything today was kind of a cutesy day at Ross. But that's what we saw today. And we were out. We did serious hunting. I've been gone 4 hours on the hunt, everybody. Hey everyone, it is another day. Halloween decor hunting with me and good old Mr. Skeleton. We're just doing a quick spooky trip today. It is early as balls. It is so early. I don't even have a face on. I'm just raw dogging it today. And I was going to run really quickly to Walmart because I need to get Lucian some waffles and strawberries. And because they didn't have any yesterday at Costco for whatever reason, or Sam's. It was at Sam's. And so I'm going to run really quickly to Walmart to see what they got. And then I figured while we were there, we would see what kind of Halloween they're putting out, if at all. I went to the other Walmart the other day, and they had no Halloween out, and no sign of Halloween, like not even one little spider web, fuzzy spider thing, skull thing, nothing. No Halloween out. And then we'll check the clothes/pajamas and see if they put anything new out. After that, I kind of wanted to go back over to Lowe's. We haven't gone back since we saw them setting up. I'm sure they're already picked over by now. I feel like these types of stores, they get picked over so quickly. So we're going to check them out early. It is early. Then we're going to call it a day today because I need to get this video edited and out. And then the video for the pre-order and all that kind of stuff. So I got to get home and do some editing. And I need to put together, I got this new table, what is it, cabinet. It's like a little buffet table cabinet thing for my dining room. So the one I have in there right now is this pink one that I got from IKEA. And it goes with my big vampire picture, if you know what I'm talking about, in my dining room. And there's pink on it. Well, the cabinet goes with that. But it never goes with any of my other decor. It really just goes with the picture and that's it. So, and honestly, it's too small for the space. I was wanting something a little bit longer or wider, I guess, or longer. So I just got a longer cabinet so I can fit more plates of my spooky dishware in my cabinet area. But it's black, which I'm super excited about. And then I'm going to move the other one to a different area of my home. But the black one is going to be bigger. But anyways, longest story longer, I need to build this thing. And I guess it takes several hours to build, so that's going to be exciting. And by exciting, I mean not exciting. I wonder if they're starting to get their mums out, Mr. Skeleton. We need to get our mums early, although I got them I usually get my mums from Home Depot. And I'm going to do the same thing I did last year because it was the best idea. So last year I got these new pots. And I didn't want to put a bunch of dirt in them and then dig it out and replant things 100,000 times for spring and fall, and then it damages. Like, I feel like it puts a lot of wear and tear on your planters. So what I did last year is I got these hanging plants, the hanging mums, and I just cut off the hanging parts and just dropped the whole pot into my big planter so I didn't have to deal with the soil and everything. And then at the end of the season, when it was winter and they died, I just tossed them. And it was the easiest thing ever. I'm starving. Did I not eat breakfast? I did. But here we are, still hungry. I'm going to have a little cracker thing. I'm going to have one of Lucian's little breakfast biscuits. Okay. These are dry. But good. Alright, I'm going into Walmart. Oh my gosh, some parts. We're here at Walmart, everybody. Going in. Alright, so now we're headed to Lowe's. But we did go to Walmart and they did not have any decor. They had still a little bit of summer wean out in their little dollar section, which we've already seen long ago. But they didn't have any other Halloween out. I went down the aisle even that has a lot of the, it's kind of like a party wear slash dishware slash entertaining wear area. Oh wait, Lowe's is this way. What am I thinking? I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. And they didn't have anything. But they did have some clothes. And, but nothing, I didn't see anything in the women's section. I don't know if I saw some pajamas. I'm lying, I did see some pajamas. But I didn't see any, like, t-shirts or anything like that in the women's section. Or sweatpants, sweatshirts, nothing like that. So I don't know if it's coming or if, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, they had some t-shirts in the men's section. One of them said, they were kind of funny. One of them said, I have your back or something like that. And then it was a skeleton holding the spine of a bunch of bones on the floor. And which was kind of funny. And then a jack-o'-lantern t-shirt. And then they also had a Michael Myers one where he was standing there and said, like, here, I coming to crash your party or something like that. And what else did they have? Anything else I'm missing, I'll show here. But they had some Halloween shirts that were kind of funny, or just in general Halloween shirts in this area. Then they had some sweatshirts or some hoodies that were hilarious. This one, I do not know where Walmart comes up with this, because last year, if you remember, they had the Halloween, was that last year? I think it was. They had the Beetlejuice Affliction shirt. It got me good last year. So I didn't think they could top Beetlejuice Affliction. But here they came this year. Walmart. It was a hoodie. A camo hoodie with Chucky. Like you'd want to disappear into the woods, but also wear Chucky at the same time. Like, I don't understand and my brother and I were laughing so hard at who thought of this concept and like the whole thought process of it. I thought it was kind of funny. They also had a Nightmare Before Christmas hoodie. And what was the other one? There was another hoodie too in here. Oh, it was Friday the 13th. And then they had a Friday the 13th t-shirt and a Silence of the Lambs t-shirt that was really cool. So they did have some cool t-shirts. Oh, and a Mickey Halloween t-shirt as well in here. So they did have some spooky t-shirts in the men's section. And then in the kids section, okay, I didn't get the girls stuff because we got a lot of the baby stuff before. I think several videos back. But the kids stuff, the girls section, they were putting stickers. There's an employee standing right there putting stickers on the tags. So I didn't even get a visual because I didn't want to stand there filming in her face, like, because she was standing right there. So, but I did get some of the boys stuff. They had some really cute sweatshirts. They had a Beetlejuice, like this lime green Beetlejuice sweatshirt. I got it for Lucian. It might be a little big, but I don't know. He hit this growth spurt, you guys. He is so tall. Like, he is the tallest kid in his class, and he is the youngest kid in his class. He is going to be so tall, and his feet are huge. I don't know what size normally 2-year-olds wear in shoes, but he's wearing a 9. 9 in shoes. I feel like that's big, but he was born with big feet. He's going to be like my brother. He's going to be just like my brother. My brother is 6'5" and a size 16 shoe, and so I already know he's going to be just like my brother. Because he came out with these big old feet. Anyways, look at this Beetlejuice sweatshirt. I thought this was so cute. So I don't know if it's going to be, I feel like it's fine if a sweatshirt is a little big. I feel like it'd be so cute with some little black skinnies. Little skinny jeans. So anyways, they also had this monster one that kind of looked like this vintage monster sweatshirt. I wish they had this in adult sizes because I love this sweatshirt. Honestly, I love the Beetlejuice one too. But this one has all these little vintage guys on it. And like little Frankenstein. It's a Monster Supply Company. And then I got this one. So when I drop Lucian off at daycare, sometimes I feel bad because I'm wearing kind of scary shirts and I don't want to scare any of the kids. Like, I almost feel bad about it. So I'm trying to look for some spooky shirts I can wear that are kind of more appropriate to drop Lucian off at daycare in. Not that I even, like, but I don't want to change how I look. You know what I mean? I still want to be the spooky ghoul I am. But I understand that some kids are scared of, you know, Michael Myers is on my shirt with a knife, like holding a knife. I don't know. I kind of feel bad about that. So, anyways, insert Halloween Mickey. I got the Halloween Mickey shirt. And I got, oh, we were talking about kid stuff. Oh, well, I'm showing you my haul. I got the Silence of the Lambs t-shirt, too. Okay, anyways, that's besides the point. What else were we talking about? Oh, and I also got some black sweatpants for Lachlan. Back to the sweatshirts that I saw. They had a bluey sweatshirt. And what was the other one? I feel like there was another sweatshirt. Oh, Jack Skellington. So then in the pajama section, the women's pajama section, they had the cutest pajamas. They had the pin-up-y looking ghouls back this year. They had a couple different sets of the pin-up-y looking ghouls, like little Franken-ghouls and stuff, or Bride of Franken-ghouls. And they had one that had witchy, like a whole little witchy design on it that was really cute. Then I think they had skeleton cats or a cat situation, and cats in costumes or a combination. And then they also had a skeleton set, and they were short sleeve and short sets. But they did have some of the moo-moos back, the like sleep shirts that had various things on them. And then they had some of those like poncho looking fuzzy ponchos. One I think had ghosts all over it. One had a jack-o'-lantern face on it. One had skeletons all over it. But they were like these fuzzy looking poncho things. And they had those zip up onesie looking, you know, the big fuzzy zip up things. Little snuggie things. I don't know what you call them. They had a couple different ones in that little area. Oh, they also had a Nightmare Before Christmas pajama set and a Stranger Things pajama set. Oh, and then also a Nightmare Before Christmas little moo-moo sleep shirt thing. So that's what they had in the pajama section. But they had some cute stuff, some cute clothes and stuff, but I didn't see any decor. So we're here at Lowe's, hoping to see some spooky decor. I know we're going to see it because we saw it the other day. We'll see how picked over it is today, but we're going into Lowe's. Oh my gosh. Lowe's. Lowe's knows, y'all. They do know. Lowe's is good every year, but I feel like Lowe's stepped it up this year. Their animatronics are so good this year. Like, in there, it was just pure fun. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed every second I was in there looking at Halloween. It wasn't overwhelming. I feel like they honed in on their Halloween. They've got a good spooky display. It's nice and organized. You don't feel like you're looking at too much, but everything has a little bit of an effect of some sort. It puts you in the spooky spirit. And it was still fully stocked, so it wasn't picked over. I was afraid over the weekend it would have been picked over, but it wasn't. It looks amazing. The animatronics, oh man, the animatronics are good. I don't even know that I captured them in all of their glory. We'll see. One guy, or a couple of guys, really took me by surprise. First guy that I saw was some sort of guy with a stopwatch. I don't know if it was like Father Time, but of a different time.
I watch the seconds of your mortal existence disappear. A lonely wind speaks your name. You are being called to follow me.
And it was a full surprise. I was so excited. I loved every second of it. There was it was like a Reaper looking guy.
Listen for the bell to ring. With every toll, I get closer.
And then they had a couple of cutesy looking ones. One was this little skeleton guy with headphones, I think, on or something, and it had a spooky, scary skeleton remix. And then the other guy was this little ghosty guy who danced around. And then there was this big skull with these hands coming out of the ground. And then they had, what was the other animatronic that was in this area though?
There was was he like a grave digger guy?
Mistress, what brings you to this forbidden place?
And then they had was it a witch? A witch stirring a cauldron.
Cauldron, the ingredients stew. Eye of newt and venomous goo. A potion is crafted with evil intent.
And they had the plague doctor, which we saw all the animatronics last time, but we saw them in all of their glory. And I was able to, they all had their buttons going. I was able to press them.
Join me and fear not, for I am here to heal and protect you from the plague.
And they also had the werewolf was really cool. I gotta take Lucian to go see this werewolf. He loves it when we howl. Anytime we howl at things, he loves it. So we gotta go take him to see this werewolf. Then they have the scarecrow, and I love the look of the scarecrow. He is so spooky looking. He moves around. I liked him. What he said wasn't the most exciting, but I like the look of him. And then they had this creepy clown situation.
Why the long face? Here's a reason to cry.
It was so good though, and he popped out. And then what else am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something here. I don't know, but man, the scares were good. They were good. Then there was like a whole little area. They had all their little spooky displays set up. And then there was this one in this little display area that had the skeleton with his pumpkin head. And I was not expecting it to pop up right away, but there it was. So if I didn't get it in all of its glory, I didn't get it. But he just, right off the bat, as soon as I pressed try me, his freaking pumpkin head flew off. It was wild. Then there was another, like a little tombstone thing. That was really cool. That popped out. Something popped out of it. And then there was a wicked witch. That was kind of cool looking.
How nice of you to visit me. What's that dare to perish deliciously?
And then they had some, they had the corpse bride.
Your cup will never empty, for I will be your...
They also had another little section that had some of the cutesier stuff, some of the Haunted Mansion stuff. They had the hitchhiker ghost. They had that animatronic. They had a Casper blow mold in the display. I didn't see it for sale though. And then they had, they had the big Haunted Mansion picture and some tombstones, some Haunted Mansion stuff in here. And then a big animatronic Mickey that sings Monster Mash. And then some other cutesy things in this area. But their big animatronics were so good this year. And I will try to find everything I saw today. I will try to find it and put it in my Lowe's storefront so you can see it. So if you're looking for anything that I saw in stores or anything that you're seeing in this video, I will have it linked in my Lowe's storefront, because this year Lowe's is working with creators, which is really amazing because not a lot of Halloween stores out there work with creators. I mean, I think they work with, sometimes they'll work with more mainstream creators, but not specifically alternative or Halloween creators. So, yeah, I'm really excited that Lowe's is actually working with Halloween and alt creators. So I'll put my Lowe's storefront down in the description box. And yeah, so I have my whole storefront built. But yeah, I'll try to find what I can from all this stuff and put it in my storefront. Then they had a whole area of blow molds in this area. So they had some Mickey ghosts and Minnie ghosts and
some cutesy looking blow mold. They had a bunch of different blow up, like the inflatable stuff too in this area. So I just got visuals of the boxes and the prices so you could see them. But they had just in general some spooky Halloween stuff. Then they had a bunch of cutesy cartoony looking stuff. They had some small animatronics. So in the small animatronics, I will say this, if you are sensitive to light, they did have some light up stuff in here. I'll try to show all that stuff first so you can skip ahead. They had this crow sitting on a skull that lit up. They had this bust guy. That looks like just like a classic stone bust, but then it was an animatronic. They had the books. What else lit up in this area? They had a bunch of light up stuff. And then they had some cloches. One was Nightmare Before Christmas. One was Beetlejuice. One was Frankenweenie. And one was Corpse Bride. Then they also had, what other little mini animatronics? Oh, they had the hand back kind of like thing. And then they also had another display that had these, it was like a whole spooky kid display. They had these spooky girls. And then they had some pumpkins and skulls. They didn't light up or anything. They were just more decor pieces. I think they had some black and white striped pumpkins and like a gold skull and a black skull. Some skull pieces in here. And then they had a whole area of light up jack-o'-lanterns. So, and once again, if you're sensitive to light, a lot of these light up and flicker, so you might skip ahead. But they had some different jack-o'-lanterns. They had some rotten pumpkin patch looking ones. They had some gray ones this year that I really liked. They were just kind of, instead of orange and rotting, they were more of like a gray look. Loved those. And then they had some of the animatronic jack-o'-lanterns, the ones that pop up. And have the stretchy mouth and everything. They had a bunch of Haunted Mansion stuff, some mini Hitchhiker Ghost, little blow molds, some other light up blow molds or light up decor, tombstones. They had a bunch of stuff. I'm not gonna lie. They had a bunch of other little lights, like little projector things you can project against your house or your garage or whatever, those types of things. And so just some of the smaller stuff, I'll continue to show whatever I'm missing here because they had a lot to see. Some little things, some bigger things. They had a really good selection of stuff, but I feel like it was definitely honed in this year, which I appreciated. I definitely did not feel overwhelmed. I feel just excited. I felt the spooky vibes. And then they also had some home stuff. Like they had some rugs. They had some bathroom looking rugs. They had a jack-o'-lantern, and I just got a visual of the picture because I didn't want to dig out all the rugs. Then they also had some accent rugs that were larger. I think they were 3x4 or something like that. And they had various, some were spooky, and I think one was fall. Or maybe it just had bats. I don't remember what it was. They had another rug, too, that had more of a rubber backing. That was... they had various spooky prints on that one too. Anything else I'm missing I'll show here, but it was so good. It got me in the spooky spirit. I was loving everything about it. That clown, I got so excited I had to send it to my brother. I was like, you gotta take the girls there because my nieces love the animatronics that jump out and scare you. They love those ones. Anyways, I got to spend the rest of the day editing. Boring, and building a cabinet. But once I build my cabinet, then I'm doing my witch table, so I'm not even mad about it. I keep talking about this witch table like it's my entire personality, but I'm really excited about it. So anyways, that's it for our week of Halloween. Oh wait, no, I wanted to get online and get on Grandin Road really quick and show you some things. So we might do that. I don't know. We'll see where the spooky wind blows us. Depends on what we run into time-wise on this video. I feel like it's going to be 300 years long, but same time, I'm not even that mad about it. But we'll see where the spooky wind blows us.